Today, we have convened this gathering to express a matter of great national importance. Our collective and equivocal support for the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Mohammed Bello Matawalle, and to articulate why his continuous service in this role is vital for Nigeria's ongoing fight against insecurity. Over the past month, Nigeria has continued to battle a complex web of security challenges ranging from banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, rural violence, threat to economic and social stability, etc. In the midst of these challenges, we have seen genuine commitment and visible results from the leadership of the Minister of State for Defense under Dr. Matawalle. His approach has been marked by responsiveness, strategic communication, and direct engagement with communities most affected by insecurity. This has exhibited even when he was a governor. Below is a summary of his key security achievements, first as a governor and now as Minister of Defense. Security achievement as Governor of Zamfara State, 2019-2023. Dr. Matawalle assumed office in May 2019 when Zamfara was experiencing one of the most severe security crises in Nigeria, Northwest. Communities were under siege, major roads were closed, schools abandoned, and farming halted due to widespread banditry, cattle rustling, and mass kidnapping. In response, he launched a multidimensional security strategy that combined community engagement, intelligence-driven operations, and decisive enforcement. He introduced a state peace and reconciliation initiative, engaging traditional rulers, religious councils, vigilante leaders, that is NSAK, and state security stakeholders. This dialogue aimed to build confidence with no hardline actors, gather actionable intelligence, reintegrate repentant offenders, and create temporary de-escalation zones to enable effective deployment of state forces. The initiative resulted in reopening major roads, resumption of farming and trade, release of hundreds of abducted victims, and a measurable reduction in attacks across multiple local government areas. He pioneered the establishment of Community Protection Guard, CPG, a legally backed local defense network supporting intelligence gathering and community protection. The model was later replicated in Katsina. Among the most notable achievements during his governorship was the rescue of abducted school children in rescuing security challenges in Zamfara and surrounding states. Overall, his tenure in Zamfara reflected a balanced approach of dialogue backed up by deterrence, combining humanitarian consideration with strategic use of state power, restructuring of local security institutions, and strengthening coordinating among military, police, DSS, and vigilante networks. Security achievement as Minister of State for Defense. As Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Matawalle brought his on-ground experience and crisis management expertise to the national stage. This was seen in his strategic effort in ensuring the safe return of kidnapped 26 girls in Kebbi states. At the institutional level, Matawalle was strengthened Nigeria's defense infrastructure, supporting modernization and expansion of military operation capabilities, advocating for enhanced funding and promoting public-private partnership for local production of military equipment. He played a key role in establishing multi-agency fusion center for intelligence sharing, rapid response, and coordinated operations against kidnapping, terrorism, and banditry. Through his combined effort as governor and federal minister, Dr. Matawalle has developed a security philosophy centered on courage, strategic adoption, and innovation, prioritizing both the protection of citizens and the dismantling of criminals' network. The recent calls by certain political actors demanding the removal of the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Bello Mohammed Matawalle, are not only misplaced, but also clearly driven by political resentment rather than genuine concern for national security. These voices represent long-standing political enemies who remain uncomfortable with Dr. Matawalle's unwavering loyalty to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his renewed hope agenda. Demonstrate a commitment to supporting the President's renewed hope agenda. Their intention is to distract the government and undermine ministers who actively contributing to ongoing reform within the security sector. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must not yield to such mischief makers, especially at the time when the nation need experienced administrator like Dr. Bello Matawalle, consolidated progress in the fight against insecurity. It is essential to clearly state that Ministry of Defense is not directly responsible for combat operations or field engagement. The Nigerian Armed Forces, which are Army, Navy, and Air Force, carry out operational duties under the respective services command. The role of Minister of Defense and Minister of State for Defense is administrative, advisory, supervisory, advisory, and providing policy guidelines, institutional leadership, and strategic recommendation to the President and Commander-in-Chief to the best approach to national defense and security management. The constitutional framework further reinforced this. Section 217 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, established armed forces and outlines their functions. Section 217 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, established the armed forces and outlines their functions. Section 218 places the command and operational use of the armed forces directly under the President and Commander-in-Chief. Section 219 empowers the National Assembly to legislate on the organization and administration of the armed forces. These provisions collectively affirm that ministers do not command troops, nor are they responsible for the tactical operations, decisions on the battlefield. Their responsibility lies in policy formulation, institutional coordination, oversight, and ensuring that the armed forces are properly equipped, funded, and administratively supported. It is also important to emphasize that there is no constitutional or statutory requirement stating that the Minister of Defense must be a serving or retired military officer. Nigeria has had civilian ministers of defense in the past who serve with distinction. What the law requires is competence, administrative capacity, integrity, and ability to support President in safeguarding national security. These are the qualities Dr. Matawalle has consistently demonstrated both as Governor of Zamfara State and as Minister of State for Defense. One of the most recent and commendable achievements is the swift and successful rescue of the kidnapped schoolgirls in Kebbi State, an operation that brought relief not only to the parent and the community, but also strengthened public confidence in governance, ability to act decisively, the Honourable Minister's role in coordinating relevant security agencies, mobilizing intelligence network, and maintaining communication with affected stakeholders was instrumental in ensuring the safe return of the victims. For this, he deserves maximum commendation. Ladies and gentlemen, as an organization that speaks for millions of Northerners, we believe that continuity in leadership, especially in a sector of sensitive and as defense, is crucial for sustaining positive progress, while we fully acknowledge and appreciate the wisdom of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in appointing a highly accomplished and respected military general as Minister of Defense. It is equally important to maintain a balanced strategy in addressing insecurity. In modern security management, the most effective approach, one that blends military precision with civilian insight, a carrot and stick approach, strategy that combines forces where necessary with dialogue, community engagement, and socio-political understanding. This dual approach is fundamental because insecurity is not fought only on the battlefield. It is fought on communities, in local relationship, and through trust building with affected populations. This is exactly where the Honourable Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Bello Matawalle, brings exceptional values. As a former governor, a community leader, a figure with deep political and social network across the North, he combines the civilian dimension required to complement the military expertise of Minister of Defense. His experience allows him to maintain strong links with traditional institutions, youth groups, local leaders, clerics, stakeholders who play a critical role in peace building and in intelligence gathering. Under his watch, communication between communities and the defense structure has improved significantly. Civil-military relation, a cornerstone of successful counter-insurgency cooperation, have been strengthened. The voices of rural dwellers, farmers, transporters, women and youth groups are being heard and reflected in strategic response. These are contributions that cannot be underestimated. This is why the 1917 Northern Consensus Movement is totally calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to retain Dr. Bello Muhammad Matawalle as the Minister of State for Defense. Nigeria is set a critical point in this fight against insecurity, and this is not the time to disrupt the synergy that has begun to yield results. The nation needs stability, consistency, and leadership continuity to consolidate on the gains recorded so far. We believe strongly that with continued collaboration between the Honorable Minister of Defense and the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, Nigeria can witness accelerated progress in restoring peace. Our communities, our security personnel needed steady leadership, for people need reassurance, and the nation need team that understand both the military and the civilian dimension of national defense. In conclusion, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment as an organization to support all genuine effort aimed at strengthening Nigeria's security architecture. In this regard, we strongly recommend that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, retain the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, who has already recorded notable progress in the fight against insecurity. At this critical time, continuity is essential. We further urge Mr. President to disregard the calls from mischief makers and politically motivated distractors seeking to undermine a minister who has demonstrated exceptional dedication, competence, and unflinching loyalty to the President and the renewed hope agenda. As an organization, we will continue to mobilize our 598 affiliated associations to promote unity, peace, cooperation with security agencies nationwide. We stand ready to support community sensitization, effort to contribute to grassroots intelligence gathering, and sustain our advocacy for safer and more structured Nigeria. May God bless.